You'll notice a little gadoinky on the top of my helmet. That's where I'm going to be mounting the GoPro, so I can take you on a quick ride up and down the 606. We're going to start here at 1800 because if you scan the QR code on an artwork, that's probably where you are, and you'll be facing that way. Now from that direction, the city is that way, east, and the YMCA is west. If you go west, you can hop on at California Avenue, or if you go east, you'll be getting one at Rockwell. Rockwell Avenue is just 2 blocks down, and on the other side, California Avenue is 2 down. Let's go and have a look at the 606. We're going to be heading west towards California Avenue, and let's see how smoothly we can make this go. You'll notice that I keep to the right of the road. It's opposite to what we have in South Africa, where we all keep left and pass right. Here you keep right, pass left. This one's called Fairfield. Now if you're driving in a car, you can only go right onto California Road, and it's a bit dicey, but if you stop before the line, you can actually see the traffic, because the pillars won't be in your way. Okay, here we go, lots of public art, as you can see. The 606 is a public park, closes at 11 p.m. and you're allowed to cycle, run or walk. Everybody keeps right. See the blue matting on the sides, it's especially for walking. It's a rubberized surface, which is important when winter comes around, because hopefully it keeps the ice off. This is the other on-ramp to California. Every off-ramp on-ramp has 2 options so that you can get off and on either side of the road, so you don't have to cross traffic directly after. As you can see, there's more public art on the right, just ahead of Francisco Avenue. I'm going to make this pretty quick. We're headed towards the Y. That is the longer part of the journey, and I'll show you how you can tell when we get to a marker. Here we have a distance marker. I'll show the next one. This is California Avenue. You can see the netting and crocheting work. People have put on to decorate the bridge. Okay, these metal markers show you the distance you have come along the 606. As you can see on our side, it says 1.8. On the opposite common 9, 1.8 plus common 9 is 2.7 miles. The interesting thing is, if you follow the same direction as the 606 in the opposite way that I'm going, and you go as far as the 606, you'll be at the edge of Lake Michigan, which is pretty cool. I'm going to go reasonably fast because I don't want to keep you busy for 15 hours. Nice thing about having you mounted on my helmet is I can look around and point out different things that I see along the route. There's a maintenance cart. It's always gardening, making sure that everything's nice and clean and maintained to the proper standard. People often walk their dogs along the 606. I've actually been very surprised at how many people do have dogs, and how every time you go out you'll see people walking their dogs, because obviously we live in smaller spaces, so there's not a lot of space for the dogs to run around, yet people keep them for companionship. There's a school over here. Some people use 606 for training, travel pretty fast. That's why it's important to keep to the right. On your left, when you're passing people on the left, it's a good idea to give them a heads up. Always be aware of animals and small children that can run across in your path. So try and keep everybody safe, won't you? This is the nicest, most picturesque part of the 606. Maybe not the best neighborhood ever, but you can see lots of interesting graffiti. Let's pop down and have a quick look. Street art is a big thing in Chicago, as well as gangs. I'm not sure if these are in any way related to gang culture, but I think it's fantastic. As you can see, a variety of styles and sense of humor. Where Nettie and Doug live, the maintenance workers remove the graffiti, because honestly the guys there aren't that good. This, I think you'll agree, is proper art. Interesting stylistic choices there. Obviously inspired by Adventure Time. Somebody's jealous. Someone took the faces out from the piece of graffiti that we saw just there. Some of it obviously gaming inspired, Cartoon Network. Some of it's absolutely beautiful to look at. I'm going to use some of this in the artwork that I do for the 606. I doubt anybody really sees these except the people who live here. Beautifully decorated. Look at that guy with a mask. Coronavirus has touched every part of our lives. Here we've got some road maintenance going on, so I'm going to turn around and go the other way. Nice thing about Chicago is that people are aware of cyclists around here. They should be keeping right, obviously, which is why that person hooted at me. Let's see if we can find our way back. I love this piece. The rendering on that, absolutely beautiful. And a rough concrete surface. Okay, let's boogie. There's our friend Mario's brother Luigi. They don't allow electric scooters on the 606, but I have noticed a couple of them. Sometimes people take chances. But most of the people around here seem to be quite law-abiding, which is why we can have nice stuff. You don't have to stress about whether someone's going to break in to your place while you're at work. Park their cars at night. People park their cars on the street overnight. It's quite amazing. Someone from South Africa. Take a little detour to the sundial. Now the sundial has in the middle a graphic showing how much the direction of the sun will change. So this here is east-west direction for spring. This here is the summer solstice, and almost 60 degrees across is winter solstice. At those times, these marks pull a line, so the 606 is directly in line during autumn, and it's off by 30 degrees in summer, or this is winter, I think. It's quite a large difference. Here we are in the middle. As you can see, there's a train yard on that side, and there, that's the Y. Very good gym with nice facilities, swimming pools. And here we go down the spiral. We'll go find the end of the 606. I don't want to go too quickly because these bushes are a little bit thorny. Continuing on the circle, on the spiral, and this is beyond the end of the 606. Here's the YMCA McCormick, lovely gym. There are public water fountains all over Chicago, and this is where the 606 begins. me explain a little bit about the markers on the pavement. So as you can see, east and west are marked. We're on the western end at 0.0 and 2.7 coming from the other side. So let's go find the other end of the 606. This area is not very affluent. Lots of Spanish people mostly. Or it seems quite Spanish here. Let's put up self-storage. Looks a bit like the plot when I was a kid. We moved into in Allendale. Okay, here we go. Let's put on some speed. Thing about Chicago is because it's built on a flat plain near the lake, there aren't any hills, so it's very, very friendly to cycling, and they have cycle paths along major roads, at least secondary roads, and people respect cyclists because you can get a serious fine if a cyclist gets hurt because of your negligence. Left. Sorts of people using the 606. A lot of people these days work from home, and so this is their safest bet for a gentle walk, whether they're on a conference call or whether they're having a chat with friends. Oh, the divvy bikes are fun. Those are rental bikes, and you can pick them up for a couple of dollars for an hour. So they charge by the hour, and there are several docking stations where you can then leave your bike. So the moment you pick up a bike, it unlocks and starts the timer. When you return it to another docking station, the timer stops, and it's as quick as taking the bus, less frustrating waiting, and it costs slightly less if you are a quick cyclist. Lots of schools along the route. Lovely vegetation. Really gives you the feeling that you're away from the city. And you don't have to worry about traffic, except for bicycles like me, of course. He's been here for a couple of hundred years, so you can see that the trees are quite well established and lots of greenery. Chicago was a swamp before it was settled. Okay, so keep an eye out. Here we are, 1.3, 1.4, and there's 1800 North Washington. We're still going to fix up the back. That's when 18 don't live. And 3.5 marker right in the middle. 1.35. So they're right in the middle of the 606. Now we're going to cycle past 2300 where I've been staying. It's about a 5-6 minute ride from Nettie's and Doug's. Really convenient. There's someone on an electric scooter like there shouldn't be. There's Rockwell Street. We'll be coming off on that one when we come back. As you can see, there's security cameras that are monitored. Policing is strict around here. The cops don't take any crap. Which is why everybody feels safe. Except a certain sector of the population. And hell, what can we say? It seems to work. On your left, here we are at Western Avenue. It's quite a big road. This is where I get off. This is one of my options to get off going to St. Paul's. You can see the streets are extremely long and extremely straight. Chicago is built on a very strict rectangular square grid pattern. There are two roads that cross diagonally and a couple of intersections where you have 6 streets meeting, which is quite fun to navigate. Here is 2300 St. Paul Avenue, where the flat is. The top story is where I've been living, and here is the blue line, the train that goes straight into the heart of Chicago. It's a short walk. It goes to Forest Town on that side and O'Hare on the other. These murals are in certain places in Chicago all over. Really admire the mural artists' work. Okay, so this is a road that I cycled often. On your left, going to the pottery studio. Some people have trailers or wagons that they can transport their kids in while they're cycling. It's really cool. On your left, coming up is Damon Avenue. At first I always got off at this first off ramp and had to cross a road to go to the left. So obviously they drive on the right. Eventually I figured out if I just go over the street, there is another exit which puts me right on the bike lane, going there. So here is an area where you can rest. Show you how the streets carry on seemingly forever. That's the highway we'll be getting close to at the other end of the 606. That road takes you straight into Chicago as well. There you go, off Damon Avenue. You can see there is public art along the path as well. Neoclassical elements to the buildings. It's brickwork. The buildings are right characteristic. It's really, really cold. Some of the brickwork shows signs of rain. too often. And we've made it to the other end of the 606. And there's a passport. There's a marker at the end. 2.7. That is the beginning and ending of the 606. Now if you're going into the city, you want to turn right here and get across the highway. But we're not going there today. It may feel dicey, but there are bicycle paths going straight underneath, and people respect the traffic lights. This is the highway, and a divvy bike station, as you can see. So when I'm going swimming, I might take a divvy bike, so I don't have to worry about where my bicycle is chained up. And my phone and credit card all fit into the waterproof pouch I have, which makes it really easy to keep track of my belongings. If you go down to Oak Street Bridge, you'll also find that there are lockers there that you can put your valuables in. Okay, going back down the 606, we're headed towards 1800 North Washington. You can follow along because there'll be different things you hadn't seen. I just love this house over here with the porch under the trees. It looks like a fantastic place to live and to visit. Just off Paulina Road, which they call Paulina for some unknown reason. There's the Church of Angels. Clearly see the angels on the roof, I hope. Another feature of Chicago is you've got all these people with their windows out, facing onto public spaces. Hardly anybody draws a curtain. You sort of get the idea that they feel very safe. I know even when I'm at home on a plot, I draw the curtain so no one's watching me. But here that doesn't seem to be a problem. You'll notice that the houses are all quite narrow. They go up 2-3 stories. So even though people don't take up much ground space, they do have comfortable spaces to live in. Some of the older apartments are nicer because they have higher ceilings, bigger floor plans. Even the modern places are quite comfortable to stay in. Everything is very well insulated against the snow, because I've been here for 3 months. Wonderful weather. It's starting to cool down now, starting to tend towards autumn. You can see a lot of Halloween decorations in the shops. I don't know if the soundtrack will be usable at all because of the wind. I'm having to do a voiceover in order to elucidate this little bicycle tour of mine. As you can see up ahead, there's the bridge that we crossed earlier. It's just ahead of the train line, and hopefully we'll see a train go across overhead when we get there. I might just stick around so we can hear one going across. The sound is deafening. It must be 10 decibels. I think I can hear one coming. I'll slow down a little. Oh yeah, here we go, racing the train. Apartment, 2300 seats. roads here are quite narrow for traffic. People do tend to keep to the right, which makes it easier for everyone to stay safe. Artists living down there a little closer. People advertising their windows. Sometimes over Western Avenue there's a coffee stop. I think it's advertising for the residential units that are in that building as well. Because it happens to add a certain something to the lifestyle. Okay, so the next off ramp here is Rockwell. There's a water fountain that's always running. It's quite acceptable for guys to run. 606. Like to decorate their places. It's actually quite fantastic. Lots of one-ways around here, so if you're driving by car, it can be quite difficult to go where you're going unless you have your GPS turned on, and it's doing a good job. Here we go, folks. Back at 1800 North Washington Avenue, where our journey began. And here is my little sculpture that I did. Teamwork and family. I hope you enjoyed the trip.